Hi guys and welcome to my channel. This video today is going to be about how to design a business card in Canva. So the previous video that I did, I made a video about creating a Canva account from start to finish. So if you need to see that, I will link it up in the cards for you as well. So fair warning, this video is going to be about 45 minutes long because I talk about some Canva basics at the beginning and then I actually design the card towards the end. So up at the top here, if you go under File, you can rename the document. So you would just type in here whatever you want the document to be titled. It also shows you the size of the document. So since this is a business card, it is 3.5 inches by 2 inches. You can also create a new design, show rulers, which shows you the dimensions of the file, show margins, and I'll explain more about margins in a little bit. Show print bleed, and I'll also talk about that in a little while. So I hope you can see on the screen the dotted lines showcasing the print bleed in the margins. You can also save. Now Canva automatically saves, but you can go up to File and then click Save, or you can press Control S on your keyboard if you have Windows. I'm not sure what it is on Mac. I think it's Command S, if I had to guess. You can save it to a folder, make a copy, and then download. So resize, it is a Canva Pro feature, and this window pops up explaining the benefits of Canva Pro, and it's also offering me a free 30-day trial since this is a new account that I've recently set up. So with resize, if you had that option, it would allow you to take an existing design and transfer it to a new design. So if you made the business card, but you wanted to change it to a poster, it would take that and put it onto a poster size, but you would have to like adjust the elements within the new size. So I just turned off all of the margins and print bleed guidelines. So under templates, you can either scroll through and see which ones they offer. You can also type in what you're looking for if you know specifically what you're looking for, or if it's for a certain business or organization or event or what have you. You can just type in what you're looking for and it'll filter out ones based off of whatever you typed in. So I'm going to type in cake decorating. And as you can see, it's filtering out ones that would apply to cake decorating. So I decided to pick this one, and depending on what template that you use, it could give you multiple pages within the template. So since this is a business card, it gives you 2 pages. Essentially, one page would be the front, and then the second page would be the back. So if you're doing a double-sided card, then you would want to pick apply both pages, but you could just pick whichever one of the 2 pages if you're just doing a single-sided card, or if you wanted to maybe do something completely different on the back. So I'm just going to pick the one on the left, because in this video I'm just going to make a single-sided card. And just a note, if it were like a magazine or book template, it would offer you more pages so you can kind of see the flow of the layout. So templates are fully customizable. If you click the little pink square that I just picked, you can change the background of your business card to whatever color you want to choose. They have default colors down at the bottom. They also give you document colors, so it kind of stores what colors have been used within the document. So if you want to, keep using the same color to make it cohesive, it keeps it separated there for you. And if you click this button, you can pick any color that you want. You can adjust the slide bar to get the particular hue. And then if you slide around in the top portion, you can get a certain saturation of the color. And you can also type in the hex code for the color that you're looking for. So if you have a brand or what have you, and you already have certain colors that you use, you can just type that right in and it'll put that exact color as the background. So I just typed in any random hex code, which gave me this coral background that the business card has now. And you can also type in the search bar. So I just typed in red. So the first result gives you red. So you can just click on that one if you'd like. And then it also gives at the bottom different color palettes that have some kind of red color within it. So you can kind of see, like, if you were to choose one of those red colors, what type of look you're going for. You can use those other colors within that palette as well. And in the search bar, you can also type in a hex code, and the first result that comes up should be the color that corresponds to that hex code that you put in. And underneath it, it also gives you like more purple colors as well. And if you click on any element within the design, the 4 dots in each corner, if you hover over it, it'll give you a double-edged arrow that you can click and drag to make the element smaller or larger depending on what size you need it to be. So you can also add additional elements to your design. If you go to the left where it says elements, you can type in the search bar what you're looking for specifically. So I just typed in cake. So you see this one here has a little icon with a crown that says Pro next to it. That means that it is for Canva Pro users only. Well, not necessarily. You can still use it, but I believe you'd have to pay like a fee in order to use it. I think it's like $1 usually. Um, so if you're not a Canva Pro user, you may want to just stay away from using the Pro elements. So I found a cake image that I want to use. So I'm just putting that in place. And in the upper left, the 4 little colored squares that are here are the same 4 colors that are in this element. So you can click on any one of those little squares and you can change the colors within that element. So as you see, I'm going to pick this blue, and the frosting on the cake change to that blue color. So if you want it, you could change the dark pink line to a different color. You can change the candle to a different color, as well as the cake layers to a different color. So the text box, when I clicked on it, those two are grouped together as a single element, which would make it easier to move both text boxes at the same time. But you can ungroup them. You just have to click on the box, and then in the upper right, you just hit ungroup. So now that they're separate text boxes, I can edit them independently. So just a disclaimer, I guess. Um, all the information that I'm going to put on the business card is made up. I don't know if it exists, but I just made it up as I went along. So as I'm moving the text box, I don't know if it shows up, but that dark pink rectangle shows up, which that is the margins. So I'm actually going to turn on the margins so you can see that the S at the end of bakers is outside of that margin. So I'm just going to change the background color to hopefully make it easier to see. So there's the margin line right there. So you want to make sure that you keep your text. If you have any images that are not the background, any logos or anything, you want to keep all of that within the margins. So as you can see, the S for bakers is outside of the margins. So you'd want to, move that in. You can either shift it to the left or make it smaller in order to get all of that in there. And this cake element is actually outside of the margins as well. So I'm just going to shift it over. And this line here is the print bleed. So if you have an image that you want to fill up the entire card, you would want to make sure that the image is stretched to fit the entire print bleed area. And I'll show you that in just a second here. So I'm just grabbing this background to demonstrate what I mean as far as stretching the image to the print bleed area. So here I just stretched it to the margin line. So when it prints, there's going to be white all the way around the business card. So if you didn't know, Canva also prints documents as well, and they'll ship them to you. So if you go to the upper right where it says print business cards, it even shows you right here in this preview that there will be white on all four sides of the business card once you receive the printed cards. So if you hit continue, Canva gives you tips on how to get your card ready to print. So in this little video clip that they have here, it's kind of showing you that you need to stretch your image if you wanted to fill up the entire card. So it says, do you see any white areas around the edges? Stretch your background. This way you won't see any white edges in your prints. Which, if I were to purchase some cards, they would have white on the edges. And here's just telling you to check the danger zone, make sure any text or any logos or anything are within the margins. And if you hit continue, it just says add a higher quality image. Low quality images will look blurry when printing. Try replacing. So if you hit continue again, you have the option to download a PDF proof to just make sure everything's going to come out as you want it. I would recommend downloading the PDF so you can, see it one last time just to make sure that there's, um, you know, nothing wrong with it, everything's spelled right. And I would also recommend like printing it out too, so that way you're not looking at it on the computer constantly. You may be able to catch any weird things, once printed. So here's the proof here that we just downloaded. And so here we have the business card. But here are the crop lines. So that would be where the cards would be cut. And so it would be cut here on all four sides, of course. But as you can see, there's white space in between where it's going to be cut and where the image starts. So, I mean, that way it lets you see that once these cards are printed, there's going to be unwanted white space. So in order to fix that, I am enlarging the image all the way to the edge. And so now when we go to print business cards, in the preview here, there's no white edges. It's just the image filling the entire card, which is what we want. So again, I'm going to download the PDF proof so we can take a look at it. Okay, so here is the one with the stretched background all the way to the print bleed. So as you can see, if we were to cut where the crop lines are, it would be right to the edge of the image. There would be no white space. So I want the word sweet cake bakers to be on 2 lines so it doesn't interfere with the background. But if you click this icon here, well, it's not an icon. I think they call it like handlebars or something. But if you click it and drag it from left to right, you can adjust the size of the text box. So you can change the font color by clicking on the text box and then clicking the A that was up at the top. So if you click up here in the upper left, it allows you to change the font style. So here it has a list of the fonts that you can use. So again, you can scroll through and find one that fits the design that you want to use. Or you can type in a certain font if you know the exact name of it. Or you can also type in styles of fonts. So like calligraphy, or if you want a script font. But any of the fonts with the little crown next to it, again, that is a Canva Pro feature. And right here, you can adjust the size of the font. You can highlight and type in a specific number. Or you can use the plus and minus icons here. Or you can also click on the text box and just shrink or enlarge it. And if you click the A here, this is for the color of the font. That is to bold the font, italicize the font, underline, and this button is for if you want to make all the letters uppercase or if you want to do upper and lower. This button here is for the alignment. So if you want it left justified or centered or right justified, you would click that button. This next button here allows you to do bullets. And if you click this button here, you can adjust the text a little bit more. So this adjusts the spacing in between the letters. So as you can see, it's like tighter as the number is smaller, but the higher the number goes, the more space is in between each letter. Line height, if you adjust this either increases or decreases the spacing in between the lines of text themselves. So as the number goes up, there's more space in between the two lines. As the number goes down, there's less space. And if you click on effects, it gives you different effects that you can add to your text. So you can do shadow, you can do a neon effect, curved text. And when you click on the certain effect that you want to use, you can adjust different settings within it to get the desired look. So here I'm just messing around with the different settings within the effects for the text. So on the right hand side here, there's more buttons to press. Under position, it'll allow you to move the elements forward and backward. It's kind of like layers, so to speak. And it also at the bottom allows you to put items in the center of the document or to the left or to the right. So this little icon is for copy style. It is similar to, I believe it's Format Painter. It's called something like that in Microsoft Word, where you can basically copy the style of, say, Sweet Cake Bakers here. If I click on that little icon and then click on the text that I want to change it to, when I click on it, it makes them both the same. So they're the same size, same font, same color. So here is the transparency button. So when you click on that, you can adjust the slider to increase or decrease the transparency of the specific item that you've selected. And link, this would be for if you're creating like a PDF type file and you want to add a link to a website within it that the people can click on once they open up the document. Then you would click that and then link a website to the text. The lock icon is for when you want to lock a certain element in its place. So when the element is locked, you cannot move it or edit it or do anything with it, which can be helpful if you have something that you want to stay in place. You don't want to make a mistake and move it or shift it around. So to unlock it, you would just click the lock icon and it would unlock that and allow you to be able to move that element. So I'm clicking on it here and it's not moving because it's still locked. So duplicate. So if you click on that, it will duplicate whatever you had selected. So this would be good too for if you wanted to like duplicate, like have it say exactly the same thing, or if you wanted to have it look the same, have the same text and size and everything, you would just duplicate it and then highlight it and change it to wherever you want it to say. So now that I've explained some of the basics within Canva, I'm going to actually design this card. So I'm going to speed this part up, but you can watch as I create this business card. So here's what I created. So these little icons above the page here, if you pick the center icon, which is for duplicate page, if you click on that, it will duplicate the page. which that's beneficial if you want to try different iterations of the card, or different designs of the card, um, and you don't want to, mess up the first thing that you created. You can duplicate it, as many times as you need, and then make changes on certain pages. So for the first page, the text is alternating colors. So it's the dark pink, the white, then the dark pink, and then the white, and then the email is in the dark pink. But for the second page, maybe you want to change up the arrangement of the text or change the color of the text. That's why it would be beneficial if you just duplicate the page. That way you're able to edit it as you see fit and not disturb the first page that you did. So let me know which one you like better. Do you like page 1 with the alternating text, or do you like page 2 where it's still alternating text, but it's a little bit different? So let me know down in the comments which one you like best. I think I like the first one, personally. But yeah, let me know down below. So once you have your design set up, if you go up to the top and click on the download button, it gives you the option to pick whichever file type you need it to be. So if you click the drop down, it shows you the available options that you can save your file as, or save your design as, rather. So you can do PNG, JPEG, standard PDF, PDF print, SVG if you are a Canva Pro user. You can also save it as an MP4 video and a GIF. And Canva usually suggests like which file type would be best suited for what you're doing. So since this is a business card, or we would want it to be a business card, they suggested that we download the PDF print option. And if you click the checkbox here, it will include the crop marks and the bleed. Depending on, where you're going to be getting your cards printed, you may need to provide the crop marks and the bleed. So you can also select pages to download. It's automatically defaulted as all pages, but if you click the drop down, you can pick which page you want to download. So I downloaded the first one because that's the one that I prefer best. And here's a little preview of it. So it's showing you here the 2 pages in this preview, and it's also offering up the option to have Canva print for you. But if I can, I will try to put timestamps, so that way if you want to skip to a certain part within the video, you can. Because I know this was pretty long. this video, but the proof has been downloaded, and I'm just going to make it larger, and there it is. And thanks for watching.